It's on his bod.
His bod.
Yep.
His washboard abs.
Hey, we're welcome back to
you're the one that told me to focus on his abs.
I'm just telling you where to put your cards.
You told me to focus on his abs, bro.
Look, can we stop arguing for once?
Are you focusing on a baby's abs? That's kind of sus, bro.
God, your wording is so weird when it comes to characters in a video game. Don't you main that character? We're getting really sidetracked, actually.
I do wish that
you
people could see your phone right now, because I said sus and you have a fucking Among Us character on the back of it.
Yeah, I printed off at work, or I cut it at work. That's getting sidetracked, though. Hey, welcome back to another exciting episode of Tucker Productions. Today, I'm Bancroft being joined once again by Jimmy, because he has a deck profile. And as you can tell, or remember what I said last week, I built Mono Red Launch because I like building theme-based decks.
Boo.
And, well, shut the fuck up, boy. And Jimmy likes building... Well, actually, I'm more degenerate than Jimmy. But
yeah,
Jimmy was building the Tricolor Launch, and we have it here. So let's get into this deck.
All right, so this is Tricolor Launch. This, starting off, does not run the promo. So if you don't have access to the promo, that's fine. You can still build this deck and not feel too bad about it. If you do run the promo, or do have the promos, go ahead and run them because they're good cards. I'll point out some cards in here that I would swap out for them. But I guess this is like a lackey type of budget launch, even though you do run some expensive cards, which of course you can swap them out as you need. So if you don't know what launch does, on combo, she will draw a card, and then when your life is flipped face up by one of your red card skills, you can draw one card and flip her over. And then on the backside, it's a 5K, 10K leader, so you do have to play around that. On swing, she negs something 5, really good for not having to combo on swinging at leader or killing out BMS or some weenies. Also really, really good against the Demegro Unison in green. It's usually a really difficult Unison to get rid of, but you can just swing with her and keep negging markers off of it, which puts some pressure on it that otherwise would, be null and void. Same thing, combo, draw, and then same thing with the flip, and you flip to your front side of your leader. So finally getting what launch wants to do, keep flipping between them and drawing a shit ton of cards. And to get our flips, we run the launch and Bulma package. So you want to run as many as possible, and that's why the promo is good. The promo effect of negging a card 5 on combo is really useful, but it's more useful just to have more combo fodder for flipping your leader and drawing more cards. Bulma, on play, she draws a card and then flips a life, and then launch, she flips a life on combo, but then activate battle. If your leader card is 5k or less, you can combo with her from the drop area, which is very useful. And if you're good at keeping cards in your drop area hidden, you can surprise an opponent with a free 5k combo and essentially a draw 2 off of her. Very good. This is your main draw engine. You want to see these in your opening hand. And to keep the cards coming back, run 4 Dyspo. Dyspo, if you have no battle cards in your battle area, you can warp Dyspo and choose a 1-drop in your drop area and play it with its skills negated. So obviously Dyspo out a Bulma or a launch, and then just set on it and use it on your opponent's turn for more draws. And it's really nice because Dyspo wants to play in the drop area, so you can just combo him off early on. And especially if you combo both, you can use this for a rival fodder. And just so much value off of just a couple cards out of your hand. And moving on to more green cards. This card, basically just run any free combo green card you want to run. I run the Blue Hate one because everybody at my locals decided that they wanted to play blue all of a sudden. And he's a draw and barrier. So you can put him out, draw a card, and then he's pretty safe to leave on board to combo off later for draws or for a rival fodder. Again, you can run whatever you want here. If you find yourself lacking on red combo or blue combo, you can swap it out for one of the other colors of the Blue Hate. I recently played this deck in Michigan, and they do play best of 3. And in my promptu sideboard, I threw in some of the I think it's which one is it, the Mai, the red version of this card, just to have more red cards to combo off with. So
the Mai that searches when you play it.
No, the Mai Blue Hate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But run whatever you want in that slot, just something you can combo off for free. Our first arrival cards, Ssb Gogeta. On entry, he blows up a 4 or less, and he's double striker. So, just really good. A lot of decks are actually kind of spamming out low-cost cards, so this is good for clearing out those pesky cards. And then if you have this in hand, when you play Gogeta, you can play Acrobatic Warrior for free, and he's either just a 15k beater, or if you have the Piccolo in hand, which we'll get to that in a moment, you can tap him for Alliance and burn in additional damage, which is really, really powerful. And he's just a free 5k combo if you really need to combo a red card. And moving on, we got Choppa Beerus. This card is insane. Arrival for 1 red, just like Gogeta. And on entry, he blows up a 20k or less, and then gives one of your cards double strike. I rarely, if ever, actually play this on my turn to give a card double strike, so that's kind of null and void for my playstyle. I use this just to blow up a 20k or less to, stop attacks or whatever. I think I don't know when this will come out. I'm pretty sure it'll come out after the gameplay video. But this card saved my life right at the end of the game, where I was able to blow up a 15k. And, essentially this is a negate. The best way I can describe or give you any tips with this deck is use your arrivals as negates, basically. So Gogeta is a negate for a 4 or less. Choppa Beerus is a negate for a 20k or less. And if you play it like that, you stay at a high life total the entire time. And since your life is not really all that important, because you're flipping back and forth already, you don't have to get to a certain life total to awaken. You can stay at a really high life total throughout the entire game and keep, getting value off of the cards in your hand. Moving on, Piccolo Jr. This card is absolutely busted. I don't know what they were thinking. 2-drop, double striker, Alliance red-green. Tap a red or green card, draw 2, and then burn your opponent 1 life if they have 3 or more life. So, like I said with the Gogeta, you tap him, burn 2 damage. This is essentially a 2-drop quad strike. It is absurd how good this card is.
Even if it's negated, it's still doing 2 damage.
Yeah, even if it's negated, you're still getting your draws, you're still getting the damage. It's just an absurdly good card for 2 energy. You can run 4 if you're having trouble seeing him, but this deck draws. You're going to have your deck in your hand by the end of the game, so there's no point in running more than 3.
And with the leader flipping with cards for your life up, you grab what you want.
Yeah, and that's another thing to talk about, is that you can just pick and choose what cards in your life you want. So if you flip a card up and go, oh, I really want that card, you can just stop comboing there and take that card into your hand. Or if you're going to take the damage anyway, you can go, oh, well, I kind of already got 2 Senzu Beans. I don't need a 3rd. I'm just going to take one of these mystery cards and hopefully it'll help me out. It's just so much good information. Run 2 check lands. This is just for consistency, and I don't want to be charging energy exhaust. And like I said, you will have your deck in your hand at the end of the towards the end of the game, so you don't really, need to see more than that. Senzu Bean. Senzu Bean is a good card. That's all you can say about it. One thing to keep in mind is that if you put a bean on your leader, that does increase the base power. So that makes your launches and Bulmas not work, because they have to have a base of 10 or less. And putting that on there, I mean, you can bean on this side and, be okay. But if you bean on your backside, you will not be able to use your launches and Bulmas. Which is easy to forget, and then everybody calls you out and makes fun of you for it.
I thought I called you out.
Yeah, you did call me out, but I called you out before, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Weesa's Coercion, just a negate. Keep your energy untapped. It's just good. If you get against Blue Hate, which nobody's going to be citing Blue Hate for this deck, and not a lot of people mainboard it, so this is kind of a risk-free play. Just having the gates for free is really nice.
I'll honestly probably order them.
Do you deserve those judge ones?
I do deserve those judge ones. I'm a judge. You can even see it right here. Bancroft's not going to pay him for it because he's a little bitch. Yeah, that's what's up. Violent Rays. It's just, this card's busted. Counterattack, negate the attack. You may drop 1 card, and then you can choose 20k battle card, 20k or more battle cards, or 20k or more unisons that cannot attack for the rest of the turn. It's, in some matchups, every card in the deck is 20k or more, so this card just can turn off an entire turn for your opponent for 1 energy and 1 card from hand. And like I said, you're going to have 18,000 cards in hand, so that's never going to be an issue to drop. This card's just insanely good. For our super combo spread, we run 4 Beerus. And this is just for the untap, because you do want to be charging a multicolor blue-red, and for a rival fodder for Cooler, which is the MVP of the deck. When he comes in, he's a double striker, negs 2 cards, 10k, ignoring barrier, and then mill 1. Almost every single time I played this card, my opponent goes, he ignores barrier, and I'm like, yeah, he ignores barrier, and they're like, well, shit, like, what am I supposed to do with it? It's just insanely good. There's too many effects on this card for 1 energy, and especially with Beerus, if you're tapped out, you can just combo this, you get a draw for your leader, and then you get to untap and then play this, and basically 2 cards out of your hand, you turned off 2 of your opponent's battle cards, milled them 1, and still got draws out of it.
And that's why you play so many red-blue cards, because you have to untap a red-blue card.
Yes, you do have to untap a red-blue card with Beerus. So the best play you can do is turn 1, charge a multicolor red-blue, and then, you know, since you don't have to pay energy for your 5k combos, you can get your draw engine started. And then by that time, it's not that big of a deal. Or in some situations, if you're playing against a aggro deck, you can charge a energy exhaust and keep a Beerus in hand, and let them get into a false sense of security, and then try to snap back on you on their second turn, combo out, and then you just drop a Beerus, untap the energy, and then ruin their day with Cooler. Which that doesn't really work very well in the best of 3 if you do that on turn 1, because they're going to realize, like, hey, I probably shouldn't blow my load on turn 2 with them tapped out with a red-blue. Hercule Boo, just another arrival. This card is really, really good. I did have this at 4 for a little while, but I felt like it was too clunky and I was seeing too many of them, so I dropped it down by 1. It arrives for a blue, which is the only arrival card in the deck that taps for blue, which is weird. So you have to get used to that. And then auto, draw a card, neg a card 10,000 on your opponent's field, and then you can choose to pick up a blue or red card to your hand. Very rarely is this going to be used. It did save me in my matchup with Fluff, because I was able to pick up a Choppa Beerus earlier in the game and have one for that final push that he had. So if you know your matchups, the pickup is a lot more valuable. If not, you're just playing this for the draw 1 and -10. Then for the last red-blue cards, Frieza, 100% Overdrive. This card is just ridiculous. Triple strike. On swing, it negs your entire opponent's field, 30k, ignoring barrier, and then they have to mill 2 for every single card negged. So if this doesn't already mill them out on swing, then you can just combo out a Cooler, neg a card, mill them 1, and then they have to mill an additional 2 for Frieza. This card is just absurd when you can get it out. It is kind of a Hail Mary because it does not have deflect or barrier, so paying 5 energy for it is kind of risky sometimes. But if you know what your opponent has in hand, and if they've already, you know, tapped out on their turn, it's worth playing. You can drop this completely if you don't see yourself playing it, but I just love the card, so I put it in. And my original build, I was running a full, like, Frieza swap package in the list, and it was not very good, because I think you need that 3rd color to really round out the deck. On to the myriad of 1-ofs. Run 1 Master Roshi. 5k blue combo. The deck really lacks blue combo outside of your multicolors and your Beerus super combo. So having a double duty, a negate, then a combo is really, really useful. Again, you can cut this if you really want to. You can swap it out for any other of the 1-drop play combos, or play negates, like what is it, Videl, and there's a yellow Roshi if you want to try to put a 4th color into the deck, which I don't know why you would want to do that, because tricolor is good enough. Another blue card.
I'm gonna play that new Apex card coming out. Not Apex, Strength of Legends. Goku.
Yeah, Strength of Legends. Yeah, you could probably squeeze in a 4th color. We might see another iteration of this deck. Another blue combo card I threw in. I absolutely love this card. This has been one of my best clutch cards. I used to play this in my tricolor turn 2 Han because my opponent would wipe my field and they would feel really safe because they wiped all the weenies, and then I just drop this for 1 blue and it's like, okay, well, you're facing down a 20k crit after you just took a triple strike crit from my leader. Really surprising. It's not seeing a lot of play, and I don't know why, because it's just a 1 drop for 1 blue critical, 20k, and it's a free combo. So I'd throw it in. It's just an extra aggressive option or just a surprise option to throw out and catch your opponent off guard. Ssb Gogeta, good for field clearance, good for removal of a issue barrier card. Has deflect, so paying 3 energy for it, you can do that pretty safely. Card's just insanely good, and it's a staple in red. As well as another staple in red, exploiting weakness. Counterplay, he plays for 3, and he just negs the entire field at 20k, and then if it's your opponent's turn, you get a plus 5k on your leader, which just makes launch normal, which normal's okay sometimes. These are the cards that I would probably swap out for the promos. I might keep the Vegeta because this Vegeta is just disgusting. But I have used this only once, and it was just to play and swing with. I didn't even kill anything. It's just the last card I had in my hand that I could play and swing. But again, if you feel more comfortable running it, run it. Trunks a Helping Blast. Revenge blocker. It's insanely good. And he plays for free if you have a multicolor out. So this is good if you need an alliance target, if you have Piccolo Jr. out, or if you're just trying to play defensive, you can throw him out, and then your opponent just doesn't want to attack with a Revenge blocker on field. They're going to expend their resources to kill this card instead of any other card on your field. So he's definitely worth running. I wouldn't play any more of him, to be completely honest, because he is a 3-drop, and if you don't have anything on field, paying 3 for a 5k blocker is kind of bad. Crown of Retribution, again, another good red staple. If your opponent has 2 active energy, you get to look at their hand and rip a 20k. So on your kill turn, if you're trying to play the big Frieza out, you can look at their hand, rip their counterplay, or rip a super combo, rip whatever. Just really good, and it's another combo piece if you really need it. And then getting on to, we run 3 secret rares in this deck. Run Fu the Dark Banisher. This card is absurd. Overwhelm 8 for 4 energy, triple attack, and anytime your opponent wants to activate a skill, they have to warp a card from hand.
I feel like I gotta put a disclaimer. Like, these aren't real secret rares.
They might as well be. They're too good for what
I'm
they
aware
are.
of that.
This can single-handedly end games. You can have a clear field, pay 4 energy, put this on field, and your opponent's like, well, that's game. And with launch, you can just amass a massive field in 1 turn, and then dropping this on the next turn is really, really disgusting. So I would definitely run this. I see some people running Fu Shrouded in Mystery. I do like that card, but I don't think you're getting to turn 6 most of the time, and if you tap out on turn 6 for that, you're probably in a bad position. But again, run what you like, because this is really a pilot-based deck, and whatever feels best for you is best for the deck. Mecha Gabora. This card is dumb. Pithing Needle. Deflect, and then when you play him, you choose a original energy cost and name. Your opponent cannot play a card of that name or energy cost. And name and energy cost, I should say. So if you know your matchups, again, just turn off an entire turn for your opponent. I did in my matchup with Fluff, I did actually think about, I sent this card back to the bottom of the deck. I was thinking about paying 2 energy and calling 8-drop Baby Hatchiak. And I just had to put it back at the bottom of the deck, so never come out. But if you know your matchups, this card is insane. And then the real secret rare of the deck, Supreme Kaya Time. Field Wipe. You can pay 1 energy and stop your opponent from attacking with Unisons and Leader card, and it's a 40k body. Just absurdly good card. It's probably the best secret rare you can run in this particular list. I don't see any other that you would want to run. I did see a list that ran the Black Smoke Dragon, which I thought was kind of cute, and I do like that, but I'd rather play this because it's more energy efficient, and a Field Wipe is never a bad thing.
Definitely messes up sequencing when you're considering trying to play around coolers and
Exactly.
Choppa Beerus. You want to try to like swing and then use your leaders for critical swings, but if you get guide, it's just bad.
I had a quick question. On average, how far do you go in the match?
On average, how far?
What turn?
It depends on the matchup. This deck can pivot into a very aggressive deck, but I usually play it a little bit more passively and respond to what my opponent's doing. So I usually get to like turn 5, and that's usually my kill turn.
How many green energies do you typically charge? You charge, I think, 3 against Fluff.
Ideally, I would only charge 1 green energy.
Never mind then.
What is that?
The SS3, secret rare.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Deals 2 damage when it's played.
Yeah. You can run SS3 Scramble. That's actually not a bad idea.
You just gotta make sure your energy is where it needs
Yeah,
to be.
you just got to make sure your energy is where it's at. And most of the time, I'm surviving with 1 life, which this deck does want to use its life as a resource. I did say earlier that you can stay at really high life total, but once you get towards the end of the game, you want to start digging into your life to get those cards out of there. And this deck can easily survive at 1 life for a long time unless your opponent has some sort of burn engine. But if not, just take all your life you want because you're just going to be able to defend everything your opponent throws at you. But that's it. I have been having a lot of fun with this deck. I'm excited to see more tricolor decks topping in the meta. I did play early on in this game where tricolor was just the meta, straight up. So it's been kind of nostalgic to be able to play another tricolor deck.
All right, Bro Tinks, come back, guys.
Boo.
Totally good.
With that being said, thank you all for tuning in. And like always, there's buttons. Click them. We didn't say it earlier, but you know they're there. All right, Jimmy, you got last words?
When I die, I might not go to heaven. I don't know if they let cowboys in.
Save
Crickets.
a horse, ride a cowboy.
Fluff?
Reach cards, no plays, fluff out.